G'day and welcome back to another week out in the shed. Tonight we're going to carry on with this bonnet scoop and hopefully we can get it finished this week, and then we can move on to some of the other jobs I want to do before we take it out on the track. Alright, let's rip into it. Alright, so I've pretty much got the shape I want. I've done the end plates, put the end plates in. I do still have to put just a lip on here to try and cause a bit of an aero vortex behind it to help suck the heat out. So I need to do that next, and then I will pull it out and I'll probably weld it on the bench. Being the fact it's such thin stuff, it's just going to go wavy and do all sorts of strange things when I weld it. But because it is thin stuff, I should be able to beat most of it out with the panel hammers and get it back into shape, and she should be all good. So we'll pull it out and we'll weld this front bit on first, and then we'll pull it out and we'll weld it up. So I've welded it up. Well, I've done like tacks the whole way around. Putting too much heat into it was just really going to turn it to shit. So what I've done is I've pretty much tacked it the whole way around with lots of tacks. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run a bit of body filler around it and just fill it up so it looks all nice and smooth. Sand it quite nicely and give it a lick of paint. Should be good as gold. So yeah, so. Pretty much like I say, just done tacks the whole way around on the inside as well. So I'll just chuck a bit of body filler on that, and should be good to go. I kind of need to put it on though, put it back on the car, and check it before I do all the panel beating before I do the body filler, just in case the it's like just in case it's deformed too much and I have to bend it or whatever, and I don't want to crack the body filler again. So I'll put it back on now, make sure she fits reasonably well, and yeah, I'll go from there. Alright, so it's the next day now. I'm not quite sure when my time lapse cut out, but unfortunately my camera went flat, so I didn't quite get the time lapse all the way to the end. But I finished up the scoop, and I put a bit of body fill around. I pop riveted it to the bonnet, and gave it a quick coat of paint, and this is what it ended up coming out like. So yeah. Oh, it's still a bit patchy because the paint hasn't quite dried yet, but pretty happy with how it came out, to be honest. So yeah. It's quite good too, because it's almost just what the bonnet needed. It needed something just to break it up a bit, so probably would have been a bit nicer if it wasn't so square, like maybe if I had made it come up on an angle like that on each side, but I'm pretty happy. It came out pretty good, so yeah. Very good, very happy. Right. Just an absolute freezing cold day today, so I thought I'd sneak into the shed for a bit just to finish up that. I literally just put the last coat of paint on it about half an hour ago, and I've just taken the tape and that off it to see what it looks like, so pretty happy with that. So tonight I will move on to something else. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do next, but find out. Alright, so it is now Saturday night. I normally like to have my videos out on Friday, but I've had a bit of a chaotic week, so everything's just fallen behind. My bonnet vent is all finished. I just gave it a lick of paint on the inside, just to paint it red. Camera's not really bringing it out that good, but and then on the outside just had a coat of black, so that's all good. Battery's on the charge there, so I can't put the bonnet down at the moment. Alright, so next up, I was going to do make a new mount for the seat and that, but that's just going to have to be for next week now. In the last video, I think I showed you I had some wiring and some plugs for doing the trailer lights and that. But just recently, Super Cheap Auto came up with a special. I bet you that light's playing havoc. For one of these. So it's just a trailer bar. It comes with 8 meters of cord that you can plug straight in, and it just has I think it's a bit of plastic with a tail light on each end. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to make a mount so it mounts where the wing is, because I'll take the wing off for transport anyway. And so we'll just bolt to where the factory wing bolts to, and then it hangs over the back. I can run cord through, and that's the light sorted without having to try and wire into the car and that. So that should be good. So I'll probably make the mounts for that next week. The last thing I wanted to do this week was on my suspension, because I'm running Evo 5 coilovers. The bottom part of the coilover, which actually mounts to your hub, is too narrow. They fit, but they're at the moment kind of an interference fit, so you really got to squeeze them in there. On the other side, when I last had that out and changed that, the top hat, I put a bolt in there with a couple of nuts and wound it apart to spread it out, and that worked perfectly on that side. I can get a little bit more camber, and that way I don't have to have the camber plates all the way over. So I've just got to jack the car up and do this side. So I might do that tonight, and then that will be it for the week, and then I'll go home and get the video all sorted so you guys can hopefully watch it tonight, or if not early tomorrow morning. So yeah, so much rip into that. Alright, so these ones here are the ones I was talking about. So if you can see here, see how it's kind of like tapers towards the back. I don't know if that's just like an Evo 5 thing or not, but yeah, so what I do is I undo these two bolts down here, pull this hub out, and then I'll put like a long bolt through here with two nuts in the center, and then I'll spread them apart, and that will just spread these apart just so it moves a bit easier and isn't an interference fit anymore. Alright, so as you can see now, actually I can't really say where the light is, both those bolts are out, but like, I can't get it to fall out at all, and I have to actually put a lever bar in there. Oh. Come on, you bugger. Just to get it to separate. So what I'm going to do now is chuck the bolts through, and I'll show you how I did that. Alright, so that's what I do. I put this bolt through here, which I think is about a 50mm bolt. Might be a 70, I'm not 100% sure. But I have that much thread sticking out, so what I do is I wind that inside bolt out, that bolt, yeah, there. That nut there, I wind that out so there's no more thread sticking out. And then I do the same down the bottom, and I did that on the other side, and it worked out to be the exact amount of stretch. So I'll get that done, and yeah, we'll be able to chuck a bit more camber in without having to wind the top plates all the way back. Alright, so that's all done now. I've stretched them out, I've put this back in, and now you can see how much, it may not seem like much, but that's quite a lot of camber that you can get out of it just by not having it so tight. So now I can push that all the way back, do them up nice and tight, and I'll have a lot more camber, which I'll be able to dial out at the top of the camber plates, and it'll just give me heaps more adjustment. So I'll just get these done up and get the wheel back on. Alright, so yeah, it's I don't know if the camera quite shows it, but she's got a lot more camber now than what it had before, so that's good, but it doesn't quite, I can't quite get it the same as the other side. I measured the other side, and the other side has 4 more mils than this side. What I did is I put a bar up against the bottom of the tyre and then up against the guard, and then measured the distance to the rim on both of them, and the one on the other side has 4 more mils, so I don't know where the extra play is, but I'm pretty happy. They both look very similar. I'm hoping to get it in for wheel alignment this week, and then hopefully the following weekend there's a test day that I'm trying my best to do. I'm trying to organise all the work around here to get done beforehand, so then I can actually get there and have the day off to do that. So that'll be really cool. It'd be nice to do some testing and get everything going. Also, I watched on High Performance Academy. I don't know if any of you guys watched that, but it's a pretty cool one with old Andre Simons. He used to own STM down in Wellington. He's done that now, and he's just built up a SR20 powered 8.6, the new ones, the FT86. He has something on his steering wheel called a PTP button, which is push to pass, and essentially it's just a high boost button. So if you can catch someone through all the corners but you can't quite beat them on straight, you got this button that you can push and it just bumps you up into high boost or a higher boost for passing. something that you're not running permanently or for a long period of time. And yes, I'm gonna have a crack at doing that. Getting wiring onto the steering wheel is going to be pretty hard, but I still have my clock spring in there, which has wiring for the airbag. So I'm hoping that I can just, maybe reuse a couple of those, and then mount a switch up on the steering wheel so I can have that feature as well, because I think that'd be just a bit of fun. So that's it for this episode. Probably a bit of a shorter one this week. Next week I'm going to try and get that light bar mounted, try and get the push to pass button sorted, and maybe a passenger seat if I get there. If not, I won't stress about it, and hopefully get a wheel alignment sorted for it. And then it'll just be time for some testing and see what we break and fix what we break and go from there. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you next week.